welcome to my channel. I'm Dalia and today I'll be talking to you about the second part series of the seller's roadmap. In the first part, we covered first meeting with a real estate professional, then establishing a price for your home, third step to prepare your home to be listed, and then fourth to actually list your home. In this video, we'll be covering reviewing offers and negotiation, selecting a buyer and going under contract, and then closing. And don't forget, if you go ahead and send me your email, I will be sure to send you the full report on how you can prepare to sell your home. This is all free, and I can also send you the seller's roadmap that we'll be discussing today. So please sit down, relax, and enjoy, and don't forget to share with your friends, hit like, and subscribe. So what's entailed once you list your home? Depending on how the market is, you should receive offers for your home within a week or two, at minimum. Currently, the market in California is very, very fast, and most homes will receive multiple offers. So once we have the offers, we can decide and talk about what offer is best for you. Things that we will look at the offer is the duration of the escrow that the buyer is looking for. Do they need the home really fast? Are you ready to move within the same time frame? We'll be discussing that. We will also be talking about the appraisal contingencies that the buyer has, and also the loan contingencies the buyer has. These are things that the buyer needs to do in order to make sure that they are comfortable and ready and able to purchase a home. Another thing the buyer will need time to do when they're looking at buying your home is inspections. So how long do they plan to take to do those inspections? Do they plan to take a long time, or are they okay to do it quickly within a few days? Those are all things to consider. Another thing we'll look at is the price. How much each person is offering, the type of financing they're using. As a realtor, I can call the specific lender that each person presents in their pre-approval letter and do a little bit of verification to make sure that the buyer is presenting a strong offer, and if they select your home, they're able to close, and we could be confident in them purchasing your home throughout the process. So we will do all that together, and I'll be preparing that for you when I present the offers. You might have, let's say, an offer that you really like in terms of price, but maybe not timing. Or maybe there's someone that has a good timing, but not necessarily a price that you like. So that's an opportunity for us to work together and for me to work with the other realtor to negotiate on your behalf. And I would be glad to do that. That's my job. So I will go back and send them a counter offer, and usually they'll reply within 3 days, because each person has 3 days to reply. And once we have the offer selected, we can actually open escrow. So once the purchase offer is signed and accepted by the buyer and the seller, we can open escrow. At that point, the escrow company will contact the buyer, and the buyer will have 3 days to deposit. What is the earnest money deposit? This is a deposit that's made with the escrow company, who is a neutral party in this transaction, and it is to show good faith. The buyer is serious about their purchase and that they actually plan to perform and conduct their due diligence and purchase a home. Once the buyer puts this money with escrow, we will be under contract officially. It means to the seller that this buyer is serious about buying the house, and they're going to do their due diligence to look at the conditions of the contract and complete the steps needed to purchase your home. These steps include the following. 1 is to make sure that they conduct their home investigations to make sure they're okay with the condition of your home. 2, there's going to be appraisal done by the loan company that the buyer is using to make sure that the price set and agreed to by the seller and the buyer is actually the value of the home. And third, there'll be a loan contingency. And in the loan contingency, this is an opportunity for the buyer to work with the lender and make sure they have everything they need and they get the money from the lender to actually purchase the home. Inspections will be conducted on your home. This is a time where you will leave the house and the buyer will have an opportunity to come and inspect the home fully. They'll probably be going into the attic. They might be interested in looking at the gutter considering the age of your home. This is important also to discuss disclosures. A seller, it's really important to disclose the condition of your home. Any past issues that you've had, it's very important to share that with the buyer so they know what changes and upgrades you have made and anything that they might want to take a further look at. It's important for you as a seller to know this because you don't want to be taken to court later for an issue that they could see as you potentially hiding. Next will be the appraisal. As your realtor, I will be representing you, so I will work with the lender and schedule the appraisal. The appraisal is a time when you want to have your house also really nice, clean, decluttered, and an appraisal officer will come to your house and look at your home. They will then take about 3 days and prepare a report stating the official price that your house can be sold for in the current market on that specific day that the appraisal was completed. If for any reason the house does not come and appraise at the full list price, then there will be a negotiation between you as a seller and the buyer. The buyers agreed to purchase your house at a specific price. And if it did not appraise, that means the lender is not willing or will not fund up to that price. They will only fund up to the appraised value. So in order for them to meet the original purchase price, if it didn't appraise, that would mean that the buyer would have to come with additional cash to close the sale. This situation might not be available to every single buyer. Some people do have a lot of money and they could bring that in. Other people don't. So that's something that we negotiate. Another thing that can happen is that if the house is listed and it appraises higher, and in that situation, the buyer is just getting a deal. Usually there isn't much negotiation there. And when you work with me, I try to do a really good job to have a good list price that will get your house sold in a really good time and will come at appraised value. Another situation that could happen is that your house comes in at appraised value and there might be something that the lender might call out as a safety issue. Let's say there's a hole on the ground, or there are bars or some sort of barrier on a window that wouldn't allow someone to exit the home in case of a fire. Those are just examples that the lender might say there is a condition for this appraisal to be valid. A critical part of selling your home is the request for repairs process. This occurs after the buyer has already conducted all their investigations. They will come with a request for repairs that's submitted by their agent. It would either list things that they want for the seller to fix, give them a credit, or potentially reduce the price. As your agent, I look at the price from when we established it originally to make sure that things like cosmetic issues or the condition of the home are already built into a price. So ideally, a price reduction would not be adequate. If there are things here or there, you can either decide if you want to take care of it during escrow, or if you want, you could simply give them a credit and have them take care of it once they take ownership of the home. Usual things that are considered are safety hazards that could put someone in danger. Things like cosmetics, like for example, they want to repaint the house, or things that people want to change that are necessarily not a safety issue are not considered. But I will be working with you on this. If for any reason there's an unreasonable request from a buyer and you do not feel comfortable and do not want to take on their request and they're not willing to budge, at that point you have an opportunity to cancel the contract and we can work together to find another buyer. So after the appraisal is complete, then we will work with the buyers to make sure they have approval on their loan so they can get the funds to close the sale. In this situation, they will be working with their underwriting and their lender to get all the documentation that they need to have the funds available at the closing date and be able to get the loan document signed and then receive the money to purchase your home. I'll be working with the buyer's agent to make sure that things are moving along and ensure that we close the deal in the time that we had first agreed to as a team. If for any reason there are bumps along the way that cause delays, we will be working on those together and communicating. Once all those items are complete, the buyer will have an opportunity to do a final walkthrough of your home. This is usually an opportunity when the buyer comes and takes measurements of the home and really starts working on things for how they're going to move in, maybe look at sizing for their refrigerator, or for example, look at how they're going to set up each room. So it's usually about a day or maybe half a day that we want to give the buyer an opportunity to come. And they're also looking to verify that the condition of the home is at the same when they first came to look at the home. And this usually happens 3 days before closing. Once the loan documents are signed and we receive the money doesn't necessarily go to the seller right away. It actually goes to the title company. The title company makes sure that it records with the city and the title is transferred from you, the seller, to the buyer. Once that's complete, you are no longer the owner and you can hand the keys to the new owner. That's what's called closing. And at that point, you will get your funds. Usually this all happens within the same day. You will get the funds for your sale of your home. I know this home selling process can be a lot of work, so my intention to prepare this video is to give you information to make you feel more comfortable during this process. If there are any suggestions that you have or questions, please feel free to send me an email and make sure you get your free home selling report. And if you're also interested in buying a house, your home buying report. This is all free to you, and don't forget to hit like and share with your friends and subscribe to my channel.